Animation is our topic today. Because the new Spider-Man movie's out. You may have heard of it. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Getting really, really good reviews. Some people saying it's the best Spider-Man movie ever made. Go to any comment section where people say this, and you'll find comments like this. You should say best animated Spider-Man movie. How can it be the best Spider-Man movie when it's a cartoon? So on and so forth. So welcome to Animation 101. My name's Aaron. I'll be your teacher for today. We're going to discuss animation and what it is as a film-making device. So let's have a fucking What is animation? Well, it can be a number of things. It can be 3D animation, computer graphics. It can be hand-drawn 2D animation. It can be a mixture of both. It can be stop-frame animation, using models and things. I'm a very big animation fan. There's this general misconception among certain people that if something's animated, it's a cartoon or it's made for children. And, you know, I mean, Disney is a big part of that. US animation for a long time was targeted at children. Or families, at least. Like, not specifically kids, but, you know, families. There is a difference, though, between cartoons and animated films. A cartoon is a short film, basically, or a TV episode. Generally, they're kind of wacky, crazy. Looney Tunes, Tiny Toons, SpongeBob SquarePants, Mickey Mouse shorts, things like that. Those are cartoons. Then you've got other TV shows. I would say shows like Gummy Bears or Chippendale Rescue Rangers, The Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy if you're into that shit. These are animated TV shows. These are shows that generally stick to the laws of reality. They don't have anyone getting flattened by steamrollers and surviving, or getting hit on the head with anvils and surviving. They're generally realistic within the bounds of their universe. So Futurama, for example, you know, they have spaceships, which we don't have. But, you know, if spaceships were real, you would think they would work like they do in Futurama. So those aren't cartoons. They're shows that could be told with live action. They could be told with real people if they wanted to. Animation just adds a different level to it, and it also helps, you know, if you've got to go to different planets for a show, animation definitely helps out with that. So there are differences between cartoons and animated shows, or animated movies. Again, something like Toy Story, or The Little Mermaid, or Coraline, Paranorman. These are animated movies. Again, not cartoons. They're things that could be made with real people if they could, if they wanted to. They've just chosen to use animation for one reason or another, artistic style, or whatever it is. Whatever reason they've chosen to do animation, that's the thing they've chosen to tell a story. And that's how they chose to tell Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. A film that a lot of people are saying is the best Spider-Man movie. And the fact that it's animated doesn't matter, because animation is just a way to tell a story. Animation isn't a genre. Actually, Brad Bird had a quote. Brad Bird, maker of The Incredibles and Iron Giant, and he directed Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, and Tomorrowland, which I actually enjoy, but a lot of people seem to hate. But he said, a Western is a genre. Animation is an art form, and it can do any genre. It can do a detective film, it can do a cowboy film, a horror film, an R-rated film, or a kid's fairy tale. But it doesn't do one thing. And he's right. It's just an art form. It's just a way of telling a story. If you don't like animation, okay. But this notion that it's just for kids, or that it somehow should be separated from a real film, is ridiculous. And here's the kicker. You know the ultimate reason why it's ridiculous? Because this is fucking 90% animated. Do you realize? Yeah, it's got actors in it. It's got real people in it. Everything behind them, in most scenes, is a fucking cartoon. It's animated. Look at the Lion King remake that they're referring to as live action. It's not live action. It's just a different form of animation. People saying that the latest Spider-Man movie is animated and should be separated and not counted with the other ones is ridiculous because they're mostly animation as well, folks. That's not a real guy swinging around the city. That's a fucking computer animated image. A cartoon, if you will. Look at Black Panther. Pretty much any fight scene in that movie is animated. Films that you think of as live action these days are animated mostly. The only difference is an animated film animates everything, including the actors. So don't fucking stand there and tell me that there's a huge difference between a 100% animated film and something that's 70 to 90% animated. Because there's fucking not. And you only have to look at Japan to realize that animation can be used for everything. Most of Japan's anime output is not aimed at children. The Japanese realized a long time ago that animation is just a way to tell a story. But for some reason, everyone else hasn't caught up yet. I'm not a huge anime fan. I don't really like most anime. Mainly because anime generally is a cheaper form of animation. That's not to take anything away from those artists, but anime cuts a lot of corners to keep the budget down that most other animation does not do. That being said, I fucking respect it. If you like anime, good for you. But if you're one of those people who feels like animation is lesser, like it shouldn't be counted as a art form, or they can't tell an interesting story compared to a live action film, hopefully I've helped you see the light today. And if not, we'll get fucked. Because animation is great. And anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.